1997, Mr. Krebs has served as president of the Washington-Baltimore Local of the American Federation of Television and Radio Artists. He is on the National Board of the Union and is chair of the National Broadcast Steering Committee. Mr. Krebs is also an avid swimmer and cyclist. Twice, he's completed the annual 4.4-mile Chesapeake Bay swim, and he participated in 5 long-distance bicycle rides to raise money for AIDS service programs in the D.C. area. A native of Missouri, Mr. Krebs lives in Maryland with his wife. It gives me great pleasure at this time to introduce Mr. Joe Krebs.
Well, thank you very much. I could not wait to get up here because, as you can see, I really have felt like a thorn between 2 roses. It's more comfortable up here. It's comfortable to be up here, but I'm a little intimidated after those speeches by Prescott and Zach. They were wonderful. Great job. Before I do get started, I want to give some special props. I know this may not be legal, but I just want to do it anyway. To English teacher Emily Davis. They were up front this morning when all of the graduates walked in, helped them get into their seats. Now, Matt is my son-in-law. Emily is my daughter. They are parents to the greatest grandson in the world, Brennan Matthew Davis. He's now 2 years and 4 months old, and soon to be big brother to the co-greatest grandchild in the world. A child to be named later, but due to be born within probably the next few weeks. I love you both, and you both make me incredible. Emily started here at Richard Montgomery as a freshman back in 1990, so our family has a long association with this wonderful school. And I'm honored to be with you this morning. And thank you, Ahmed and Rebecca, for co-anchoring that very nice introduction. And there is a career in there somewhere, I think, for co-anchors. First of all, I want to say congratulations to each and every one of you in this hall this morning. To you graduates, first of all, who have made it to this pivotal point in your lives. And to you parents and loved ones who have made it to this pivotal point in your lives. Making it through high school is a grand achievement for all concerned. And now specifically to you graduates. You know, you and I are really, in many ways, at the same pivotal point in our lives. I began anchoring, as you heard, the morning news on NBC4 18 years ago. That was 1994. The same year, I would guess, many of you were born. And now, look at us. Here we are, today, you and I on the brink of the rest of our lives. We are about to set off into that vast unknown. Think about it. For 18 years or thereabouts, you've had a certain routine, a certain predictability in your lives. Once you learn to walk and talk and clothe and bathe yourselves and feed yourselves, you found yourselves in school. And you've been pretty much there ever since. You got up, got dressed, went to school, went to class, went home, ate dinner, went to bed, woke up, and repeated the whole thing day after day until this day. For me, the last 18 years, my alarm went off at 2 o'clock in the morning. I got up, went to work, anchored the news, went home, ate dinner, went to bed, woke up, and repeated the whole thing to this day. 18 years, and here we are together. I just retired, you just graduated. That former part of our lives is no more. It's only a memory. And now we are starting anew. It's our commencement, a new beginning. We're no longer in that same comfortable routine, surrounded by familiar places and familiar faces and familiar expectations. We have the freedom now, you and I, to decide, and we have the burden to decide how to spend the rest of our lives. No one else can do that for us. I hope that you have many, many years left. I suspect I have fewer, but we both have the same challenge. And I would suggest that that challenge is to meet the goal expressed very well by one of our greatest Americans, Thurgood Marshall, a former justice of the U.S. Supreme Court. He was, of course, the first African American to serve on the highest court in the land, and he did so for 24 years. When he retired from the court in 1991, I covered his farewell news conference. Someone asked him at that news conference, "How do you want to be remembered?" Justice Marshall, who was 83 years old at the time, paused and said bluntly, sort of off the cuff, really, in his gravelly, gruff voice, that he did what he could with what he had. Think about those words. He did what he could with what he had. Not only a great way to be remembered, but it struck me then, and it strikes me now, as the very best any of us can do. It's the most you or anyone else can expect of you. It is the greatest challenge and the highest standard that anyone can set. To do what you can with what you have. And what you have is just what Thurgood Marshall had. What each one of us has. Our own particular, individual, unique talents, dreams, genes, opportunities, time, and place on this planet. And that is all we have. We have to do it with that, or we don't do it. Our challenge then is to take what we have, all that we have, and do what we can, all that we can. You and I here on the brink of the future ought to think about what are my particular talents, my skills, my abilities? What are my dreams? If I could do or be anything, what would I do? What would I be? What about your genes? What does your family and your history give to you? Gifts or relationships that others don't have. What are your opportunities? The last 18 years, those opportunities are gone. But there will be new opportunities this afternoon, tomorrow, next week, next year. Look around. What needs to be done? Who needs to be helped? What problem needs to be solved? What benefit can I bring to this place at this time? You are unique, and your opportunities will be unique. What can you do? Thurgood Marshall, he did what he could with what he had. So can you. And so can I. Which means, I guess, it's time for me to start taking my own advice and not just spend my retirement sitting on my big fat back porch. It is now time for both of us to start the rest of our lives. In fact, you might say, it's time for a commencement. So let's go. Best wishes to all of you. Congratulations, and thank you for that.
Mr. Chief, on behalf of the staff of Richmond Montgomery High School, I commend to you the members of the class of 2012 as qualified candidates for the state of Maryland diploma. Thank you very much.